Do we have any children today? Any children out there? Let's just see. Spotlight them for a minute so we can all see them. There they are. You want to wave to everybody? Okay. And let's see now. Do we have Chloe? Chloe. I'll wait 1 minute till she comes on. I don't know. Okay. Well, all right. There we go. Okay. Well, you know that I like to think about the amazing things that God has made and sometimes we look at things every day and we don't really think they're too amazing.
Hi.
So hi, Chloe. Hi. So sometimes we have to think of things in a different kind of a way. So I want you to imagine this. Could you imagine that a piece of grass in your front yard started to grow and you said, "Mom, that piece of grass is getting really tall out there." And Mom said, "Boy, we're going to have to mow the lawn, but we really got to make sure that one piece gets mowed." And that piece of grass started growing taller and taller. That piece of grass was taller than you. And you said, "Mom, what's up with that piece of grass?" It started getting a really thick stem. And before you know it, it started producing something big, and you found out you could eat it. Now, what would you think about that? Does that sound a little crazy? Yeah. Well, there's one thing in the grass family that God made for us that we can eat. And I started thinking about it. I was like, that's amazing because it's the only thing that I know of in the whole grain family that gets that big into like super grass. Some of the things in the grain family get big, but not that big. Can you guess what I'm thinking about yet, Chloe?
Um, I'm thinking it might be a pumpkin.
No, pumpkin is not in the grain family. Pumpkin, believe it or not, is in the fruit category. It's actually fruit. I know, you'd think it's a vegetable, right? Um, no, it has to be in the grain category or what's called the cereal category. So, yes, Ricky,
Wheat.
wheat
Wheat.
is in the grain category, but does it get so big that it's taller than you and it gives you something to eat, Chloe?
I think it's corn.
It is corn. It is corn. Good guess. Good boys and girls. Yeah, I started thinking about that, and it's kind of amazing that corn, yeah, it's in the grain family, and it's the only thing that gets that big and that huge that we can actually eat it. So I said, well,
Wait, are we gonna be drawing corn?
we are. We're going to be drawing corn on the cob, but we're
Yes.
going to draw it a little differently. We're going to draw it in a little kind of an impressionistic way. We're not going to draw every individual kernel. I want to show you how to create an impression with color. So we are going to be drawing corn. Yeah, that's the largest grain I've ever seen, and it's been around for thousands of years. It started down in Mexico, and then, of course, when the colonists came to the United States of America, the Native Americans showed them how to grow corn. Do you know that corn is spread out over our planet so that every month there's a crop of corn that's getting ripe somewhere? Because all the way from the cold north up in Canada, all the way down to South America, people can grow corn, and every month somewhere corn is coming ripe. Have you ever walked in a big cornfield? Have you ever seen it growing? No, no. I don't think I see it quite as much in Florida, but we would always grow it in New England, and they would have corn mazes where you would go in and try to find your way back out. It's very, very tall, way over your head. Did you know that there's different colors of corn? Have you seen decorative corn on people's doors and stuff, or on people's as part of their decorations? Have you seen like field corn and stuff? Yeah. Do you know that corn, Chloe? You're gonna like this. Corn can be pink or purple. I think purple's your favorite color, isn't it?
Um, Purple is my second favorite color.
What's your favorite color?
My favorite color is blue.
Okay, well, guess what? Corn can be blue.
Black?
Yep, red, blue, pink, black, purple with stripes. The decorative corn can.
Wow.
So, does corn have any vitamins in it? Well, it has some. It has some. Corn on the cob has vitamins, and popcorn has minerals. But here's what happens, we go a little crazy in our country, and we start getting this corn and putting it in everything. And we put corn syrup in everything. Now, if you look on the label of something and you see corn syrup, high fructose corn syrup, as one of the first ingredients, that does not mean it's healthy. That means it's really not, because candy, soft drink, syrup, ice cream, all of that has a lot of corn syrup in it. And so you have to not to go too crazy there. And do you know that if they test the hair of people around the world, they know who's American? You know how they can tell who's American from the United States? The high concentration of corn in our hair, because we eat so many things that are preserved in cans and bags and frozen whatever, that adds so much corn syrup to it that there's a high concentration in our hair. So we have to be a little careful. You want to eat it how God made it, right? Corn on the cob is a lot better than eating something that has a lot of corn syrup in it. So we got to think about that. Corn's also used in glue, it's used in ink, it's used in a lot of different things. But corn on the cob, nice butter and salt is a beautiful thing. So I think you guys are ready to draw. I actually did two practice drawings. Well, I two different kinds of practice drawings. The first one I did, I was following a picture that had all the individual corn kernels. And then I saw this other picture and I said, this is kind of interesting. I think I will take them through this one. So we are going to draw the corn, and I got to get my picture ready that I'm going to look at. And I'm going to share my screen. So let's see about that. And I am going to put, let's get this out of the way.
I got my paper out.
Good, good, good. All right.
We have paper right next to me on literally a shelf.
Perfect. You are ready to go. I got to get my thinner pencil out. I got to get my drawing tool. Okay, so we're going to start with one cob, and it's kind of elliptical cylinder. It's kind of like a cylinder, but again, it's nature. So we're not going to make a perfect cylinder or it will look like rocket corn or something. All right, so we're going to start here, and we're just going to make it a little, see how I make it kind of bumpy looking. Okay, just a little bumpy. Now we're going to make some leaves on the side. It's going to come down to a little bit of a stalk here. Going to make some leaves on the other side. And let's just see here. I'm going to make.
I think I messed up.
That's okay. You can always start over. No problem.
I'm glad that I'm using colored pencils.
Yeah, I actually thought I was using black, and it looks like I'm using green and didn't even realize it, but that's all right. I'm going to make another piece of corn coming out over here. It's going to go down to here. Okay. Whoops. All right. Now I'm going to make some more leaves coming all the way down to here. Okay. So that's that. Now we're going to do some coloring. I'm going to do a highlighter. So if you have something lighter, and you always want, when you're doing a picture, you always want to leave some white, because the white is going to be your highlights. So you're going to kind of just, you can just kind of, I'm doing dots, but in fact, I want this to be wider, much wider. I'm not trying to make individual corn curls. I'm just kind of, let me see here. I'm just kind of trying to fill it in, but I want to make sure that I leave a few white marks around, because I'm going to show you how we can just make some shading. So you don't have to do dots, but just gonna highlight it, but leave some spaces. Now I'm going to grab some red, and I'm going to start to just make some little areas of highlight here. In fact, I'm gonna make this thinner and just kind of some little lines. And then when you get down here, now this is where we need to learn to look for our areas that we want to make darker. So in here, down in this area, there would be some shade because it's kind of next to the the leaf. So we're going to put a little more dots that are kind of coming up. Then we're going to kind of do that on the side here. So we want to give the impression of some shading, kind of a 3D look. Same up here. There's going to be some darker parts up here. And you want to vary the coloration here. I didn't mean to make that one huge one, but anyway. So you kind of vary light and dark, and you can put a little bit of shading down in here. So you notice, you think corn is yellow, right? But I'm using brown, I'm using red, and it starts to give the impression of a little bit of a 3D. That's what you're kind of wanting to do. I'll put a little orange maybe, and just kind of, as you do it, you can kind of give the impression. So you see what I mean by impressionistic? It's not exactly um, looking at every single individual kernel, but it's beginning to look and imagine where the shade would be and starting to put some of that in. Okay, then I'm going to go back over to here. I'm going to put some dots in here, but I'm going to leave some white, especially to the top. I want to leave a lot of white and a little to the side over there because you have to start to look where is the sun in this picture. All right, and then I'm going to grab some red. I'm going to go over and make this to a different tool. And very
You have
gradually,
problems.
yeah, it's an unusual thing, isn't it? So you're not happy with how you're thinking of this possibly coming out?
Yeah.
Yeah. Mine's a little unusual looking. I wanna see if I can erase a little part of the spot there when I had the wrong tool. That's the one thing when you do it online, you can erase. Oops, I didn't know it was still on erase. Okay, let's go back over to here.
I'm not sure what mine's looks like, but I'll show you.
All right, well, let's wait a minute until we wrap this up, and I'm gonna look at yours, okay? All right, let's just see here, put it over here, put it back down to here. And it starts to just give the impression of the corn. I asked Pastor Duran last night when I was practicing if he thought I should go with this impressionistic one, and he thought this was kind of interesting looking. So I said, all right, well, let me try that one because I always practice and practice before I come on here. That's why people shouldn't get frustrated because I can never do it the first time around either. All right, so see, that kind of gives the impression. It's not bad. Now we need to lightly color in the background of the leaves. Um, so we're going to lightly color them in, and then later we will put more of the detail on the leaves. So I've got to make this a little thinner. Okay,
Oh my.
so just get the background, and then we will put the detail on the leaves. So just color it in. And that's really how you can do it. And when you're painting with watercolor and everything too, you go with the light color, gradually add the dark. And with watercolor, you definitely want to leave some white because that's your only way of showing highlights. In fact, I should have left a little um, light on some of these leaves, which I forgot to do.
My grandma got me a painting set for Christmas one time, but she never lets me use it anymore.
Oh, well, that looks like that requires a family conversation.
It does. It makes me mad.
Yeah,
Uh-oh.
that's something that needs to be talked out because I think there's more to this story.
Mhm.
And I'm sure your grandma would have plenty to say on the topic, but I'm not sure this is the place for that. All right, let's
I
see.
think I know why.
Yeah, I think you do too. And I don't think we need to, but I think you do. And yeah, it sounds like a conversation needs to be had. Okay, let's go this way, get a little green on this side. We working over there.
Dixie and Ricky, how are yours coming?
You guys working over there? We'll show yours when we let's see.
It's coming along good.
Oh, you're looking at theirs. Okay, good. I gotta keep going.
Yeah, it's coming along good.
I'm gonna put some tips in
By the
there.
time you guys are finished, it'll be perfect.
Yeah, they're quietly working away over there. See, I'm kind of limited on my palette over here. I have. You probably noticed from week to week that my colors are kind of the same, but it is what it is.
Oh, you're limited colors now?
Yeah, well, the palette, and this is the Zoom whiteboard palette, actually.
Oh,
So this is what I have, and I can't blend them. Do you know that with watercolor, I made a whole fall starting out with 3 colors and blending and mixing the colors. All right, well, I think this is about done. What do you think? It's kind of impressionistic, but you see what I mean? You don't have to draw every individual kernel because if you did, let's say you were going to make something, you might do something like this. You might say, okay, I'm going to make a corn cob, and you might do this, right?
right. Yeah. That's probably what I would have done.
Yeah.
But
See,
then I'm not an artist.
so you see the difference of how you can make it, and it looks a little professional. Now, somebody may look at mine and say, oh, that's bananas. Well, maybe they will, but it gives you the general idea. All right.
Impressionistic, right. Your whatever impression you put on it.
It's impressionistic. What's your impression? All right, let's stop the share and let's see. I am going to spotlight Ricky and Dixie. What do you got for us? Oh my goodness. Great. One at a time. Okay, let's see
Wow.
Dixie. Let's see Dixie, and then we'll look at Ricky. Let's see Dixie. Woo!
Whoa.
Look
Look
at
at you, Dixie.
tremendous. And she used the whole paper, which is always a good thing. Sometimes
Yeah.
kids are afraid and they only use a tiny part of the paper, but she used the whole paper. Okay, now let's take a look at
Yeah.
Ricky. What do you got? Look at that.
Wow.
Hand
Look
me
at, we
the
got an
butter.
artist in the house.
Oh yeah, hand me the butter and salt. I'm ready to dig into that. That
Pretty
looks more
good,
than
Ricky.
I did.
Yeah.
He's exceeding the professor now.
Good job, guys.
Yes, both of you, tremendous.
All
All
right,
right,
Chloe, what you got?
let's see, Chloe. I'm going to spotlight Chloe. All right, and I think I accidentally muted you, Chloe. Chloe. I didn't mean to do that. I was trying to spotlight you. So if you want to unmute and either show us your picture or tell us your sorrows. Nice.
Oh, good
I
job.
Ooh, that's excellent.
like
Yeah.
that's very
Great.
got a nice.
On the top corn.
Yeah, but
On
it's
the-
good. Very good.
That's
All
a great
right,
job.
I'm going to turn it over to Clustine, and she's going to have a song for us, and we're going to wrap it up.
Bye bye.
All right.
Bye. Thank you for participating. I always love it when you do.
I'm gonna ask
Good
if
job.
Grandpa wants to come back.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
I'm
We'll
gonna
see
show my grandma the corn.
Okay.
Awesome.
Very good. Okay, I'm looking for either Dixie or Ricky. Are they there? No.
Hi.
Hey, hey, listen, Ricky, you got a Bible nearby?
Yeah.
Could you do me a favor?
Yeah.
Okay, I want you to turn to Proverbs.
Okay, hang on, please.
I got you, Ricky. I got you.
Oh, thank you.
Ask him what the verse is.
What is the verse?
Okay, Proverbs 4, verse 1.
Is there a specific version?
No.
Doesn't matter. Just
Okay.
read it.
Okay, 1 second. Yeah. What is it? Proverbs 4, verse 1.
Yeah.
Just verse 1.
Hear ye children. Right at the top. Hear ye children.
Hear ye children the instruction of a father, and attend to no understanding.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, now do you know what that means?
No. No.
Okay. The instruction of a father. You have a father, biological father, but you also have a heavenly father. So you have to listen to instructions. Now, this is an animal. I'm going to give you, it was a story about an animal. And I want everybody, even the older folk out there, to put on their thinking caps and see if they can guess which animal this is. Okay? Are you ready? Okay. Now, many young animals receive instructions from their parents. Our animal today is one that we can learn from. He's very scary to look at, sometimes even frightening. He has sharp teeth and dark brown and black fur. They live in camps, sometimes 10,000 in one camp. They are very noisy. Each camp has guards to warn of danger. When an alarm is given, gets very quiet. If there is danger, they all take flight and fly away. Their enemy is snakes and monitor lizards. Each adult male has its own territory and defends it. Let close neighbors crawl through its territory. It is the largest of its kind. They have sharp teeth, but they eat fruit. They have dark brown and black fur, big wings, 4 feet wide, and head like a fox. When the babies get old enough to teach, they are put in the middle of the camp, and the adults teach them how to behave and survive. Fights. If they get into fights, the parent steps in and disciplines them. If the young don't listen to their parents, they end up growing up not able to take care of themselves. So you remember what the text says, okay? Now, can you guess what animal? Does everybody have it? What? What?
Bats? Bats?
No.
Not bad.
Is there somebody in Brooksville, a kid in Brooksville, can guess? As Pastor Lance would say, put on your thinking caps. You can't guess? It's a flying fox. Have you ever heard of a flying fox?
I didn't know they existed.
Yeah, okay. All right. Well, you're learning a lesson today because I read to you what about their instruction. They have to be, you see this, and I don't know if this is kind of close to it, but that's what his eyes look like. Okay, I was going to ask Sister Duran if she could download a picture for me, but I forgot. But that's what his eyes look. Eyes are that big. But once this is just a doll, but once he opens his mouth, you see the sharp teeth and everything. But these creatures are taught, okay? They're given instructions. And you see what the parents do. The father, they eat fruit. They have dark brown and black fur and big wings, 4 feet wide, and like a fox. It said like a fox, but these are flying foxes. See, I never heard of a flying fox until I read about these. So what I would like for you all to do at some point in time, when you go, your mother can put you on Google and Google flying fox, and you'll see another name for it. I didn't have it. I don't have it here, but it's a funny name which they call these animals. But you understand now? Do you understand what the meaning of this proverb is? Listen to the instructions of the fathers and give attention to no understanding. He said if they don't listen, they end up growing, not being able to take care of themselves. So that's what it means. Okay? Now, as my good friend Pastor Lance would say, can you remember that the next time you see a flying fox? Which you may never see a flying fox. So I just want to thank you. I hope some kids in Brooksville heard that.
All right. Well, we'll have a little prayer and then we'll have a little time for people to greet one another, and we'll do the check-in of our platform participants, our virtual platform in cyberspace. All right, let's bow our heads. Father in heaven, thank you so much for each boy and girl. We thank you for Chloe and Ricky and Dixie and the gifts that you have given each one of them. And we love them, and we ask you to keep them in your care and protection this week and help them to notice the amazing things in the world around them. In Jesus' name, amen.